Well, cheers, Palm Springs, Coachella Valley. I brought my cool refreshment with me, so if you don't mind.
Good deal. Because today we need to
Yeah.
be cooled down.
Oh my gosh, how much warmer, how much hotter can it get? Not just here, but all the way up the West Coast.
I was talking to someone earlier, and they were saying the other day that why are we Palm Springs desert people still talking about the heat? It's always hot like this. We know this already, but we still talk about it.
Yeah, but this time of year, not necessarily this much, right, Conrad?
Yeah, well, not this early, that's for sure.
I also have to send a cool toast to Portland. I mean, I just heard that their mass transit was shut down because it's so hot.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well,
So
we know that experience here in the desert. Remember last week we were filming over at the Mini Fest and the phone went off because it was so hot.
Mm-hmm.
And this week I was filming at the Shortfest.
So we're going to talk about that. You are actually there meeting directors and producers and actors. So that's really great. I have seen a number of the films, but we're going to talk about while you were away, we were up in the cool mountains in the Angeles National Forest.
Yes.
Doing a retreat with friends at their cabin and hiking, like majorly hiking, but it was still refreshing. So Conrad, I know that you were at Shortfest and watching films and interviewing directors, producers. Tell us about who you talked to, where you were, and tell us about the films.
Yeah, had a great time. And actually, I want to first of all thank a friend of mine, Rocky Lewis, who stepped in as the cameraman to help me. I'm glad he was there. That always works out well when there's more than just me. So I was there, yes, especially I think it was on Saturday. Again, it was so extremely hot outside. Luckily, we were able to be inside for a variety of the different interviews. Had an opportunity to watch, I think, 7 different films over the past couple of days. Had an opportunity to interview 3 different directors, all with 3 very different films. And to me, I think that's some of the beauty of going to any kind of film festival. You can see a film that talks about this and then a film that talks about that, and they all kind of make sense, and they're all very interesting.
And you were at the cultural center, right?
Definitely right in the middle of the cultural center. They had their step and repeat outside, which is right in the middle of the sun, but it was still great to be there. People were in line getting tickets. There was a good energy, and I think I say this in this opening that you're going to see in a few seconds. Palm Springs, the Coachella Valley, we were ready to get back to the movies. People were there. They were having a good time. It was good to see people we haven't seen in a long time. And the film festival, it's always terrific.
Oh,
always.
That's great.
So why don't we take a look at the little video that I put together?
Okay.
This is the Palm Springs Cultural Center, and this week it was home to the 27th annual Palm Springs Short Film Festival, which is the first film festival to have an actual live audience in attendance. But there's lots of energy going on, and that means that Palm Springs and the Coachella Valley were ready to get back into the movies. Films are always terrific, right? We always like to see a good film. But nothing really happens without the volunteers. They keep the grind and keep everything going. And I'm here joined now with a couple of our volunteers. Tell us your name.
Ann Scott.
Ann Scott. And Ann, are you from the area?
Just moved here from Kentucky.
Kentucky. Well, welcome.
Thank you. Loving it.
Good. And your name?
Christine Perez Pena.
Tell me, what is the experience like working as a volunteer? Is it something really hard and treacherous, or can anybody do it? What do you think?
Oh, I think anybody could do it. You have to have a passion for film and actually being a representative of the festival.
So I'm guessing not only do you work the film festival, but you also get to see some of the films.
Oh, absolutely. I have a passion for film. I've worked in Los Angeles in the film industry as an art director, production designer.
Right. Well, thank you very much. It's always about the volunteers. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All righty. When you're at a film festival, it's always great because you get to actually meet the directors, sometimes the producers, sometimes the actors. It's always a great way to have a little more relationship with the film. And today, we're here with the producer and screenwriter of Good Grief, Tess Cohen. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Nice
Hello.
meeting you.
Thanks for having me.
So why don't you tell us quickly, what is the idea behind Good Grief?
Good Grief began as a personal story, actually based on true events with my own family. The ash scattering of my own father, unfortunately. But yeah, we were interested in revising what it means to grieve. It's something that's explored so often in film.
This is a comedy, yes?
Yes, this is a comedy. This is a comedy, so it's all okay.
So the 5 stages that you may know are a little bit different than the 5 stages here. It actually has some pretty recognizable character actors. How does a small film grab those individuals?
Yeah, well, ironically, all of this began with my own cousin, who is a non-actor, and that really attracted the kind of talent you're describing. I think Peter Friedman was our first intro. It was a friend of a friend's dad, and he just loved the story, and he sat with us over coffee in New York and gave us notes, and it was a very collaborative, cool process.
That's great. And usually, once you get one, they start telling their friends, and they start coming your way. Well, the film again is called Good Grief, and this is the producer and screenwriter, Tess Cohen.
Yes,
All right,
thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
What is your name?
My name is Sarah Villeneuve.
And Sarah, are you from the desert or are you from out of town?
I live in Desert Hot Springs, but I'm a patron of the festivals that you have here, probably for the last 10 years.
Is that right? So it's probably safe to say you've seen a movie or two.
1 or 2, yeah.
Hello, I'm Harold. I'm sorry, my dear. Let's begin again. And, I'm looking for love.
The film that we're talking about now is called Cabin for Two. So let's go down the line and tell us who you are and what part you play in the film.
I'm Sam Hoyland. I'm the director, writer, and editor for Cabin for Two.
All right.
I'm Jillian Nordby. I'm one of the producers.
I'm Sierra Olson. I'm also one of the producers.
I'm Omid Matthew. I'm the production designer.
And I'm Rachel Grode. I was the art director.
This is a short film about how long?
It's about 12 minutes, 13 minutes.
Mm-hmm. And approximately, if you don't mind sharing with us, what does it cost to make a 12-minute? Mucho dollars?
Well, for us, it had a budget of about $26,000.
Where did this idea come from?
I think the wider idea came from dating, just dating in the online world, and I thought it would be kind of fun to do like a VHS version of dating again, going back to like those 80s love dating.
Yes.
And then I also just kind of think that what's lonelier than the apocalypse? So just like combine those two, lonely dating, lonely world, and combine it into a single concept.
So there are a variety of short films here at this film festival. That's the beauty of a film festival. You get to see all kinds of films. But I have to say, this is one of the unique ones. So let's talk to these individuals. The name of the film is called Raspberry. I'm going to start on my left and work ourselves around. So tell us your name and what part you played in this making of this film.
Hi, my name is Brianna Murphy. I'm one of the producers of Raspberry.
Alrighty.
Hi, I'm Ji-hee Hong. I'm one of the cast in Raspberry.
All right.
I'm Julian Doan, and I wrote, directed, and edited Raspberry.
And my name's Turner. I'm a producer.
The film is about an Asian American family who watches their father take his last breath, and they are faced with the last chance to say goodbye as undertakers from the funeral home come to take his body away, and one son in particular has a really hard time deciding on what that goodbye is going to be.
And I have to smile because I did not expect what the goodbye was. Where did this idea come from?
Yeah, it's definitely inspired, like hugely inspired by my family and I watching my father take his last breaths, and I watched him pass away one morning, and so it's a combination of that. The Raspberry did not happen in real life. I kind of maybe wish it did.
And so when you came to the movie, were you hoping to be the person to give the raspberry, or did you know about the raspberry?
Yeah, it was on the script, so I knew it was happening, but I knew it wasn't me.
Tell us about producing. What does that entail for this film?
Oh, goodness. This is actually my first time producing, and I was really thankful to have Turner, our other producer, on because he helped with a lot of the nitty-gritty contracty kind of stuff. And my role in producing it was more like gathering crew and kind of big picture stuff.
So Turner, you've done other production work?
Yeah. And this one, me and Julian had done a short where he was sort of our post supervisor on it, and so we were roommates and friends, and the way he wrote the script, literally the way the script is designed, it has a design to it. It's also beautiful.
You know, speaking of beautiful, the home that this takes place in, especially the living room, that's really a pretty space. Is that somebody's home here from the cast?
We ended up shooting it in my father's actual home, in the bedroom where my father passed away. So there is some added level of meaning for us as, filmmakers. It means a lot more to be shooting there.
So this is a sad story, but it's also a comedy. And I don't want to tell you what the raspberry part of it is, but you will soon find out what it is. The film is called Raspberry, and where do you go from here?
Making a feature, I hope.
All right.
We hope.
We'll be looking for you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you much. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Conrad, that really did look like a great day. Not only, we also saw the 3 films that you touched on here, where you had a chance to interview writers, directors, and producers and actors. But they were all really good films. I really enjoyed all of them. So it must have been so interesting talking to all these folks. I mean, it's great to have them all out here, despite the heat, right?
Despite the, and again, this is the beauty of any film festival, let alone the Palm Springs Short Film Festival.
I know.
Is you get to watch interesting movies, and then you get to decide what you thought the story was about. And then the film directors or the producers or the writers are there, and they actually tell you, this is what we were trying to do, and this is where we were going, and this is what it costs, and these are the things that we ran up against. It's it's a great experience.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
And I definitely, before we stop this section, I definitely want to thank all the folks over at Shortfest for giving us this opportunity to come out and to watch films and to interview the folks. I dealt a lot with Stephen and Grace, who helped me organize who I was going to be interviewing. And the day of the event, Austin was there to help just put me where I needed to be put and get me to people I needed to get to. So it really made it a lot of fun. So I want to thank everybody over at Shortfest for that.
Oh, absolutely. They've just been more than gracious. And today was Best of the Fest. And there were so many winners. I don't know where to start.
Right. Well, there was a lot of money to be given out for the winners. And then I believe several of the winners got to be recognized and potentially go out for the Academy Award opportunities for short films. So, this is the Short Fest here in the desert is a big thing. And we got to go to it to bring it to you.
Exactly. Well, we saw a number of films too, but we probably don't have time to get into everything right now. But we definitely enjoyed all. I think we saw about 7 so far, and more. We're still watching some of them. But let's just follow along. Look at Best of the Fest. If you have a chance, there's still a little bit of time, right, Conrad?
That's
just to kind of
a little bit of time.
A little bit of time to grab on.
Well, everybody enjoy. All righty, Claudia. So while I was here cooking in the heat, I know you and Alan were somewhere in the mountains, right? Is that correct? Where were you, and what did you do there?
We took off on a road trip. Well, we had made these plans quite a while ago to visit very dear friends who, during the pandemic, moved to Wrightwood, which is a small mountain community that's pretty cute. And it seems like, LA people, kind of Pasadena, a lot of them are starting to look out in that area. It's definitely a very outdoors, you're either hiking, or in the winter you're skiing or mountain biking, and our friends are of that ilk 100%. In fact, day one, we got up to the mountains and it was probably mid 80s. Nice. And we're going on a hike to Dawson Saddle. So up in Angeles National Forest, their cabin home, which is adorable, is probably at 7,000 or so feet. So they're acclimated, they're training and altitude. So we go to this trail that starts at, I think it was about 7,900 feet. And we get out of the car and it's beautiful. The vistas are gorgeous. If you have a chance to get away and be outdoors, definitely Angeles National Forest. So I look at this trail and it's going like this. And I'm like, Alex, that's not the trail, right? You're joking, right? He goes, oh yeah. So once we killed ourselves getting up there, the vistas of, there's a mountain there that's beautiful called Baden-Powell, and you get these views and you're in this beautiful pine forest, but you're up at 8,500 feet. Wow. So we were running and we just kept going and going and going.
Well, the good thing about you and Alan is you are both experienced hikers. And so, it may be a different altitude there, but at least your body's already ready to go for that kind of a hike.
Yeah, it was hard. I mean, for me, it was tough. Let me tell you. but it was worth it because it's so beautiful. And at night we enjoyed a beautiful dinner on the deck that our friends made that was delicious. And it got down to the low 60s. Oh, delightful. So get away from Palm Springs when you can. And it's just, 88 miles away. Short. These little things are nice to do when it gets toasty here. Yeah.
Most definitely. Claudia and all of our Coachella Valley folks, June 23rd, 2021, it poured here in the desert for the first time in 135 years.
Isn't that nuts?
It was raining.
Oh my gosh. And that day was so strange because we had a couple days of this muggy, and that morning, it was so heavy. And I was going to pickleball and it was like drizzling. And I thought, Then it was fine, not fine. It was hot. And then we came back and then to that downpour, just crazy.
It was so interesting because my husband was out working, doing some yard work, right? And he was under our new cabana, so he was protected. And I saw some drizzles coming down. And I thought, oh, no big deal. And then I heard hard rain. And just as soon as I looked out, I thought, wow, that's pouring. And right behind him was that lightning strike that happened over in the mountains.
Oh, we didn't see that, really?
I've never seen that here in the desert before. Hey, just another day here in the desert.
Yeah, we've got drama here. It's drama in the desert. You never know what you're going to get.
In more ways than one, drama here in the desert. Okay, Claudia, well, we somehow managed to have a terrific week here in the desert. Folks, if you want to come out, come on. We're having fun out here.
I want to say one more thing.
Yes.
Tomorrow night, we're having our second live guests at Palm Springs Piano Bar. PS Piano Bar tomorrow night. Live audience and special guests, Leanna and Miguel. And if you don't know Leanna and Miguel, they play all around the desert. They are fantastic. So do tune in. That's going to be tomorrow night, Tuesday night, 7:15, and it's going to be on Alan Kramer Facebook Live.
I will see you there. We're going to be there live.
Bye.
Bye-bye.